In this video, I'm going to show you one simple method that will enable you to smash your goals, whatever they are. Because there is a secret to achieving your goals. And in this video, I'm going to take you through that method, show you how simple and powerful it is, and explain how you can implement it. But have you ever wondered why there are some people who seem to effortlessly achieve their goals, whatever they are, through life, while you seem to struggle? I've always struggled with achieving my goals. I've often felt like my own worst enemy, sabotaging my efforts. In the past, I've often fallen at the first hurdle. And even when I've been working hard towards a goal for weeks or maybe even months, I get to the point where I start to tail off and that goal is never achieved. And so I set about looking to see if there were any methods that would help me to achieve my goals simply and with the least effort. And there is. It turns out there are 4 types of people when it comes to achieving your goals, and depending on what type of person you are, there are certain things that will help you achieve them. So the first thing we need to do is work out, who are you? And to work this out, we're going to use a framework created by Gretchen Rubin in her book, The 4 Tendencies. Because the key to achieving goals is to work out how you respond to expectations. And when we're talking about expectations, we're talking about both internal, your own expectations, and the expectations of others. It's this difference in people that explains why some people achieve their goals and others don't. But don't worry, whichever personality type you are, there are methods to enable you to achieve all your goals. So first, let's work out what personality type you are, and then we'll see how we leverage your natural strengths to achieve your goals. I'm going to identify the characteristics of each type so you can work out which one you are. Are you an upholder? Upholders are fascinating because they respond to both inner and outer expectations. And that basically means they're pros at meeting deadlines, following through on commitments, and sticking to their resolutions. So let's figure out if you're an upholder. See if you can answer these questions. Do you find it easy to meet deadlines and keep commitments to yourself and others? Do you feel a bit uncomfortable when you know you're breaking a rule or not following through on a promise? Are you self-motivated and disciplined? If you're nodding along and saying yes to these, then the chances are you're an upholder. Upholders are amazing at juggling their responsibilities, staying true to their word, both to themselves and to others. Next, let's talk about questioners. Now, questioners are an intriguing bunch because they question all expectations and will only meet them if they make sense. Essentially, they need to understand the rationale behind any request before they commit to it. So let's see if you might be a questioner. See if you can answer these questions. Do you need to understand the rationale behind a rule or request before you can comply with it? Do you often find yourself asking why and needing strong justifications before committing to something? Do you resist rules or expectations that seem arbitrary or inefficient? If you're saying yes to these questions, then you may well be a questioner. Questioners are fantastic at making sure that every action they take is logical and well thought out. But questioners struggle with expectations that don't have a solid base or something that they don't understand. Now let's talk about obligers. Obligers readily meet outer expectations, but rarely meet inner ones. They're incredibly reliable for others, but sometimes let their own goals slide. So here are some questions to figure out whether you're an obliger. Do you find it easier to meet commitments to others than to yourself? Do you rely on external accountability to get things done, like having a workout buddy? Do you often say yes to others, but have trouble saying no, even when you're overwhelmed? If you're nodding along and saying yes to these, then you're probably an obliger. Obligers are fantastic at being there for others and meeting external demands, but sometimes they need a bit of help to stay on track to meet their personal goals. And finally, let's talk about rebels. Rebels resist all expectations, both outer and inner. They value freedom and self-determination above everything else. And so here are some questions to help you determine whether you're a rebel. Do you dislike being told what to do and when to do it, even by yourself? Do you act from a sense of choice and freedom rather than obligation? Do you often do the opposite of what is expected or requested, just because you dislike constraints? And if you're saying yes to these questions, then you might be a rebel. Rebels thrive on their sense of independence and often push back against any sense of control or limitation. All right, so let's bring this all together with some powerful tips for each personality type to help you smash your goals. Upholders, you thrive on clear expectations and structure. Embrace checklists, schedules, and routines to stay on track. Having a solid game plan is the key. Questioners, you need to understand the rationale behind each task. Always dig into the why and gather as much information as you need. Knowing the rationale will keep you motivated. Now on to obligers. Obligers, this one is close to my heart. As an obliger, I found that external accountability is a game changer. Whether it's partnering with a friend who has similar goals or setting regular check-ins, having someone else involved keeps you going no matter what. And rebels, you value freedom and choice. You should be framing tasks as challenges or opportunities for self-expression. Make sure you have plenty of options to choose from so you can maintain your sense of autonomy. By tailoring your approach to your unique tendency, you can make habit forming and productivity feel more natural and effective. Remember, the key to smashing your goals is to identify what drives you and leverage that to your advantage. And if you find it difficult to get started on anything that's important, then watch this next video, which is all about procrastination. See you on the next one.